Okay, so it's seed saving dining room table time. And I was looking at my honeycombs that I've been saving seeds from, and I'm rinsing them off and washing them all. And then I don't know if you can, well, of course you can see that. They're all sprouting. They're not supposed to sprout. They're supposed to dry off and store them for the winter so I can use them next year. But I guess the good thing is I know they're viable now. This is why I grow sedum. It is full of bumblebees. And the Michaelmas daisies, apparently. Michaelmas daisies are rather invasive, though. I've ripped this whole bed out 3 times. Those red sweet peas are climbing over top of everything. They've got to be at least 10 feet tall and prolific as all get up. So I'm definitely saving seeds from those, and they are a gorgeous color. They start out really dark red and then they go lighter red. And I don't know if I've got my flag upside down the wrong way, right way, or any way anymore because it was a cheap knockoff by the looks of it. So that's probably why it always looks like it's the wrong way around. Anyway, I'm just out here cleaning. I topped all these tomatoes, and as you can see, they've decided they're going to start growing again. And I'm talking really quietly because Gerald's doing a bunch of work over there. But it was supposed to be cooler today. It started out really nice and overcast and cool, and now it's 27 degrees again. So I'm trying to do a few little jobs in between being awed by all the bees. I tell you, they're just crazy today. Anyway, back to work. September 8th, and it is really muggy out. It is 25 on that one. What does this one say? 26 on that one. And it's noon. And we're rescuing a clematis. I found it trying to grow in amongst some old bushes down there. So I figured, okay, well, it's going to die if I don't do something with it. So we're going to try rescuing it. I'll give it some rooting hormone. I've pruned it down a bit so it's not trying to grow as much stuff. And I'll put it in a little pot and house it in here over the winter. And then I can find a spot for it later on. Whew, it's muggy. Ugh, gross. It's seed saving everywhere. There's seed packets, seed containers, seed this, seed that, the other. So these are the tiger lily, I think they are. I put a picture on the screen later. But this is what the seed pods look like. I'll show you one. This is what it looks like when it's empty. This is what it looks like when it's closed. And in all of these little pouches, there's hundreds of seeds. Now, I've never grown them from seed before. I don't know if they will grow from seed, but you don't know if you don't try. A seed not sown is a seed not grown, right? So anyway, that's the hundreds of those. Those are white calendula back there. So that's empty, those go in there. I'll empty the rest of them in a minute. Those are red sweet peas. Let's see what else have we got here. There is, that bag is full of lupin heads. And then in here, that's my calendula I've showed you. Hydrangeas are doing good. This is pink and white and purple sweet peas, hence the reason they're separated from the other ones. And this is a hodgepodge of everything. These are my poppies. They've not quite opened yet. A million marigolds, more cosmos. Did I say those were calendulas? They're cosmos, I lied. These are calendulas. This is the teddy bear sunflowers, millions and millions of marigolds. I'm not worried about them being all mixed up because they're just going to get strewn later, and that's off of there. I wanted to see if they were viable. So anyway, so that's seed central. Keep airflow in them because they will get moldy if you leave them all like this. I'm going to lay them all out on a bigger tray later. I'd probably empty those out because they don't need drying anymore. And then I'll dump this all in there and spread it out a bit more. I can even try and separate them. Other than that, that's what we're doing outside. It is cleaning, clearing, bed prep, and seed saving time, which seems a lot more work than everything else we've done all year long, doesn't it? Anyway, back to work. It is Did I say it again? Muggy. Sorry, it's hot. Oh, I know you're complaining of rain in the UK. We're bitching about the heat still. I think it was 2 or 3 hours of rain the other night, and that was it. We're done for another week. So anyway, I just want to show you my gorgeous sunflower that I got to remember to save seed from this one. There's one here, and there's one behind it. Most of the tomatoes have been pulled, as attested to by the crap on the floor. Casualty of war. And note to self, we have a million volunteer tomatoes, by the way, aren't we, Stella? Note to self, don't grow tomatoes near beans. Not because they're bad companion plants, but because they're too good a companion. The poor beans are wrapping all around the tomato plants I'm trying to remove, and it's making it almost impossible to get the plants out unless I cut them into 5 million tiny pieces. And my white Eskimo marigolds are, my white Eskimo marigolds are finally flowering. It's the middle of frickin' September. Marigolds are loving this heat, if nothing else does. I am in a sea of marigolds and bumblebees, which is fine. That's fine. Got a few more tomatoes to harvest, and then these plants are coming out. That one can come out. There's nothing left on it. I've pulled them all out. And then those are seedling. That little green thing there is just a seedling from the frickin' trees. A couple of rescued tomatoes. Oh, whew. Don't look at that mess over there. I'm demolishing things. I think I have more fun taking stuff apart than putting it together. Anyway, I know I keep showing you my bumblebees, but oh my God, there's so many of them. Every one of them has its own little sedum plant. Look. Oh, so for no other reason than for the bees, you can grow sedum for late summer, sharesies, late summer pollen gathering. They look very happy, don't they? Amongst the ginormous, you can't see him, spider right behind that bumblebee. Anyway, back to work before I drowned here in my own sweat. Gross. Blech. Okay, so pulled all the Mizuna. Oh, wait a minute, I missed one. Or something. I missed something. I think it's a broccoli rab or something. Anyway, put it in there. I've got to pull all my, back you up a bit. I got to pull all my long red Florence and spread them out, because I'm just going to leave the onions in this bed over winter. My pixie cabbages are looking like, I don't know, not quite sure what's going on there. The mystery brassicas are getting pulled, and we're going to have a Chinese dinner, Chinese food in a couple of days, so I'll probably pull most of that pak choy, because it's not that fancy. And that vivid pak choy is more like a mustard, if you ask me. So it's a misnomer using that name, pak choy. It looks more like a mustard, but I'm sure it's edible, and I'm not going to complain about it anymore. Or will I? Probably. What we're going to do is we're going to give them a trim first. Just makes it easier to deal with them. I'm doing this one-handed. So we're just going to give them a haircut. Right? Like that. There. And then I'll dig them all out very carefully, and then separate them all and put them all back in again. And I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so onions are always hard to see, so I'll bring you in closer. So they're all in 2 rows there, 2 rows there. These ones are, those are scallions. Not worried about those. And the spares I've stuck over here in clumps, and once I've got the pak choy and stuff out, if I've got room, I'll put them over there. And I forgot to show you, I put some peas in. Whether they'll do anything or not, I have no idea, but my kale is doing really good, and it likes it in here because there's no cabbage whites so far. I've not got a lot else to show you. I've cleaned up loads of pots. I found a salvia that I didn't even realize I had in there. Almost every pot is just marigolds. I've cleaned out all the other pots, but this is Sandra's fault. I bought some new flowers, perennials. These are perennials. Where's the label gone? Uh-oh, I'm sure I kept a label for them, Sandra. I'll see if I can find it. This one's got a label. It's That's a rudbeckia, and I'm assuming that one is too. The other ones I bought were this one. This is a rudbeckia. So they're all rudbeckias, those ones. That's an agastache. It's on 30% off. Come on, look, you know, can't complain. That's a green twist echinacea. I tried growing them from seeds. They didn't do too well, so I'm hoping that the plant will do better. And then this one, which is a Gaillardia. I'm assuming, Sandra, correct me if I'm wrong, and I do need your answer on this one. These are seed pods, so I can save seed from it, hopefully. But it's a very cool looking one. Close up. See? All the little seed, all the little flowers come off the side. And then this one. This is a something, sneeze weed it's called. Hopefully it's not invasive. I'll have to look it up. But before I put them in the ground, they're going in this bed here. Before they go in, hello Bumblebee. Before they go in here, I need to check their height requirements, width requirements, and if they're invasive or not. And I see a stink bug crawling up my, you can't see him, but he's right at the edge there. Stink bug crawling up my bloody netting. Bastards. Hate those things, they stink. Although it's not as bad this year as it was last year. Anyway, I leave you for the night on a happy note with some bee action. There we go. Be happy. Don't worry. This too shall pass. We'll get rain eventually. Where is she? There she is. Just sit and watch bees all day, couldn't you? As long as they don't sting me. Yeah, so off we go. That dogwood has all of a sudden decided it's going to shoot big shoots out the side of it, so I don't know what we're going to do with it. Normally we keep it really small, but we'll see. This bed's not getting anything done in it because this tree here, I said I was ending on a B note, didn't I? Oh well, I lied. This tree here is going to move to the center and back a bit further, and that way it'll give me a more even. I don't like, the symmetry has to be a little more symmetrical for me, so I need to move that tree over, but it's too early in the year to move it, so hopefully it will be okay if I move it later on. I'll do some research. Other than that, it's just going to leave the garden to the bees and do some watering. Have a great night. Bye. Forgot to mention, as one does, these calendulas. They're like a burnt orange on the sides, but they've got very few seeds in them. See? I mean, there's a couple, but not what you normally find in calendula. So I'm hoping they come back next year with a few seeds that I've saved. Anyway, that's my hosing sprinkler going, so I'll come back out. I put it on a timer and come back out and switch it over. Have a great night. Bye. September the 9th, and I don't know if any of you can notice the lack of tomatoes thereof. Dr. Tony is the only one back there. The rest of them have all been taken out. And Diggy has finally got a tomato. This is my Britain's breakfast. It's the only one, because that one got rabbited early in the year. And the Lazy Housewife beans have gone mental. Obviously, they didn't like sharing with anybody else. So yeah, all the tomatoes are gone. I got to pull that one out there. Other than that, what I came out to show you was, I'm doing some more work clearing beds. Sorry, I got a stink bug to squish. There we go. I'm trying to get in here to harvest some beans. I've got some great Scott tomatoes right there. Oh, new pointy stick. The stick is for the spiders, because at the end of my spider, you can see there's a giant spider there. There is another giant spider above the apple tree over there, which is what I wanted to show you today. So I already walked into one on this side on the right. So I'm just wafting with my stick. I'm sorry, I know you work hard and you're a ginormous spider, but you'll figure it out and get it done again later. I've tied this tomato up, I don't know how many times, but it's growing, and look, it's got, see if I can get you in there a bit closer without stepping on everything. It's got flowers again, but at least it's got a couple of tomatoes. They're not great tomatoes, but they're okay. They're not dead, and not dead is good, right? I can't get the stick to go in the ground further, so I'll have to work on that. But what I came out to show you was, see if I can get you in a bit. My apple tree My apple tree has blossoms on it. Like, what the hell? It's the middle of September. I'm sorry I bought apple trees. I really am. I don't know why I bought so many. But I got to fix this stick because it's falling over. I'll get, oops, scope you out a bit. It's falling over and I'm going to break the plant. So I got to go. Bye. I'll be right back. So I'm harvesting some beans out of this bed here. And this is how I harvest beans. Pair of these. Sorry, excuse me. I'm doing this one-handed, sorry. Find the base. Move it over like that. There we go. There's the base. Cut. And then cut. Grab the whole plant. Turn it upside down. And pull all your beans off. You got to pull the bean plants out anyway. So this is the easiest way to harvest them. And then I'll just lay them on the table here. Already did some. Lay them on the table here and then just take all the beans off. Easy breezy. Leave the roots in because they've got nodules of nitrogen, I believe. Okay, bye. And yes, I have a mole. God damn things, I tell you. There is a 25-acre farm on the other side of those trees. Could they not just go over there? No. We've got to dig up all Allison's frickin' fence line. Ugh. You little monsters. Now I can't get in there because I've got it barricaded to keep the rabbits out. Anyway, I'll show you later. Anyway, just scoop all that out and pour some castor oil down his hole. And I'll show you, you little blighters. And then he's in here too. They like edges. They like something to push against. That's why when you lift up bricks and stuff, they're always in there. But he's in that corner as well. Because that dirt should not be piled up against that edge, right? That little mound you see, well, you probably can't tell it's there, but it's a mound. You can see from the slope he's in there as well, which means he's in here, which means he's in everything. Anyway. Oh, yes, Mr. Bumblebee, I'll get out of your way. So I've emptied all the beds out of here. I've got a hollyhock growing there. A giant hollyhock growing there. And I've got one that's self-seeded down the side of the vegetable bed, so I'll have to try digging that out in the fall-ish, whenever it's fall, if we ever get fall. Oh, these are the hydrangea cuttings I did the beginning of the year. They don't look pretty right now because they probably need to get out of that pot and go into a bigger pot and get some more feed. But if you'll notice, most of them did good. One of them flowered, and this one died, right? It didn't do anything, even though it looked like it was, oops, sorry. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Even though it looked like it might have been trying to get roots on it, it didn't. But those ones didn't die so much, so now. So I'll put them in a bigger pot. Apparently she likes those flower colors. Anyway, so I've got to fix Mr. Mole in a minute. Oops, threw that there. So I've got a bucket of beans. Now, harvest, these are Red Swan from Bessie's back east. If they are too big to eat as a bean, we just pod them and eat the beans inside. Like, you know how French beans, they can be like little and tender, or they can get real fat and lumpy like these. So we just take the beans out and eat the beans inside. No beans go to waste. Oh, those tomatoes are still there. Those are the chocolate mocha, cherry mocha Mel. Those are delicious. I like those. I prefer those now that I've tasted them even better than the Honeycomb. That's my Thunder Mountain. It's got a million flowers on it, and I doubt very much it's going to get anything, but I'm going to put it inside and let it stay inside and see if it does anything over winter. Other than that, I've been pulling the bean plant, so I've got bean rash all over my arms, so I'm going to go in the house. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the 9th of September. Have a great day. Bye. And I forgot to show you the giant hole there is where I pulled a blueberry plant. It was one of those dwarf blueberry plants like that one. It wasn't doing too good hidden back here, so I've taken it out and I've put it in a big huge pot over there. Hopefully it'll recover. What else? Yeah, that's my red rudbeckia. It needs splitting in the spring. That's just a bucket. That's a weed. That's a bee on my head. Go away. I'll be nice to you if you be nice to me. Thank you. Yeah, other than that, self-seeded pansies everywhere and a weed. I should get that weed out before I forget. That's a weed. Weed. Yes, from my childhood memories. Weed. Not pot, weed. Anyway, Oh, nothing else to do. I'll take my beans in the house. I will, yeah, apparently Agastache is supposed to be a really good one for bees. Blue Fortune, 30 inches tall, so that's not too bad. See, I gotta make sure that I put whatever I put in here. So that's sneezeweed, aka snuff, will have to go at the back. But I gotta, like I said, move that tree first. Yada yada blah blah, repeating myself as I do. Marigold shot, gratuitous shot of all the flowers, and signing off. Bye. So processing tomatoes couldn't get much easier. Grab a whole bunch of varieties off the table that's still ripening, chop them into quarters and bits, throw them in a freezer bag, into the freezer they go. That is my tomato processing system. And the last of the beans that I picked today, and some more seed saving. These are Chupa Chups and California tulips. There, have you ever seen a prettier sight than a bunch of colored tomatoes in a bag? All ready for soups. Okay, so fermenting, drying. So these ones are all drying on wax paper, so it's easier to get them off. I once made the mistake of putting them on a paper towel and then try getting them off once they've dried. They stick to it like crazy. So either a plate or something you can scrape them off. But these are on wax paper and they should take a couple of days to dry. So hopefully they're safe in here on Seed Central. Anyway, have a great day. Bye.